Have you ever wondered about the invisible boundaries of privacy, especially when you are a guest in someone else's home? It is a fascinating area of law that often goes overlooked, yet it is fundamental to our understanding of constitutional protections. When you are a house guest, you generally possess significant privacy rights under the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, protecting you from unreasonable searches and seizures within the host's home. This protection means that law enforcement cannot typically enter or search the areas where you have a legitimate expectation of privacy without either a warrant, the host's consent, or a recognized exception to the warrant requirement. This right stems from the legal principle of a reasonable expectation of privacy, which means that any area where you can legitimately expect privacy, such as a temporary sleeping area in a home, is protected. The Supreme Court has affirmed that individuals, even when not the property owner, can have a legitimate expectation of privacy. This includes overnight guests, as established in cases like Minnesota v. Olson, where an overnight guest was found to have standing to challenge a warrantless entry. However, this protection can be more limited for short-term visitors, such as those present for purely commercial transactions, as illustrated in the Minnesota v. Carter case. The key is whether your presence is legitimate and you have a personal, not just a casual or business-related, connection to the premises. For guests, this means that law enforcement typically cannot search areas where you have a reasonable expectation of privacy without a warrant, or without an exception to the warrant rule, such as your host's consent or exigent circumstances. For hosts, understanding this means you should be aware that granting permission for a search of your home could potentially impact your guests' privacy interests as well. It underscores the importance of clear communication and mutual understanding regarding privacy expectations. A crucial legal concept here is standing, which refers to a person's ability to demonstrate to the court sufficient connection to a harm or law to obtain legal relief. Guests must be able to assert their own reasonable expectation of privacy in the area searched to have standing to challenge a search. Courts often evaluate the totality of the circumstances to determine if a guest's expectation of privacy was legitimate, considering factors like the length of stay, the nature of their relationship with the host, and whether they had control over the area searched. This nuanced assessment ensures that the Fourth Amendment's protections extend appropriately to individuals who are temporarily residing in a home. Understanding these protections empowers both guests and hosts to navigate shared living arrangements with confidence, knowing that fundamental constitutional rights to privacy are upheld. It highlights how the principles of the Fourth Amendment extend beyond property ownership, safeguarding individual liberty wherever a reasonable expectation of privacy exists.